Let's go on to the third form of asexual reproduction. Next part में हम which is budding. What is budding? Have you ever heard of the word bud before? You would have heard it in context of flowers, but it is different but kind of same. Budding is a form of asexual reproduction in which a new organism is formed or a new organism develops from an outgrowth of the parent organism. It happens due to cell division at certain particular points. It forms a bud. This bulb-like structure. It is attached to the parent organism as it grows and separates from the parent organism only when it is mature, leaving behind a scar tissue. Unicellular yeast, for example, carry out budding as a form of reproduction. A bulb-like structure forms on the yeast, which is called bud. This bud gradually grows and detaches from the yeast cell, which grows and further it makes a chain of buds. Now, what is the difference between binary fission and budding? For starters, the processes are completely different, but as a final output, in binary fission, there are two equal cells which are formed, but in budding, one mother and daughter cell is formed. Daughter cell is smaller than the mother cell. Let's look at the next mode of asexual reproduction, which is spore formation. What do you think a spore is? It is something like a cyst. But what do you think a cyst is? We've actually learned it in multiple fission. So first, why do you think plants produce fruits? And in fruits there are seeds. They produce fruits and seeds so that animals would take the fruits away and eat them and leave the seed behind, where the new plant is formed away from the parent plant. Therefore, the plant spreads in the ecosystem. Same what a seed does to a plant, spores to the lower forms of life. So, spore is a hard structure. It can move. It can be carried by air, by wind, etc. They are hard structures so that they can survive in unfavorable conditions as well. Certain algae, the protoplast of the cell contains certain spores. These spores are motile, which means they can move. That is why they are called zoospores. They are released into the environment and they find a suitable surface and they grow into new plants, or I can say new algae. Same way, bread mold also reproduces the same way. Well, if you were to wet a bread and keep it in a cool, moist place for certain days, certain hours, or for a while, then you will see white things, or you can say we see that they are just white powdery substances that are seen on the bread. But if you see closely from microscope, you will find out that is rhizopus, or that is actually bread mold, and it is called rhizopus. It contains a sporangium and a hypha. Hypha, you can say the roots of rhizopus. In sporangium, there are spores. When the sporangium blasts, the spores are released into the environment. They can stay in unfavorable conditions as they have a hard surface and they contain the material, that genetic material inside them. When they find a moist, cool surface, they settle there and grow into new rhizopus. This was spore formation. Now let's look at vegetative propagation. आपको मिलेगा next day next time. तो तब तक के लिए thank you. Have a nice day.